So, welcome everyone to Support Yourself, 3 self-concepts every cancer survivor needs to know. So, this is a different and unique perspective from my perspective. I feel it's different and unique because it's all about you, the real person, not you, the medical patient. And often we get lumped into this category of the medical world as opposed to the human side of ourselves. And that's the work that I do, is really working on my own human side and helping people to work on their human side. So I wanted you to know that this is really about you, who you are at your core. And it's going to address you and what you need in your everyday life. And I'm hoping that it's going to empower you to become a cancer thriver, because that is a beautiful space to live in. So you're going to see that there is a way to live with cancer that will allow you to show up differently in your life, to reclaim your health, and to move from just surviving to thriving. So what we're going to do over the next hour is we're going to talk about 3 strategies. Strategy number 1 around the self, number 2, and number 3. And when we're finished talking about those strategies, we're going to talk about this healthful thriver model that I've created. So I was a teacher for almost 20 years before I got cancer, and then switched to becoming a holistic cancer coach. So I love teaching and I love visuals, because I know when I was working in the classroom, like, my students really wanted to be able to see things to understand them. So there's a lot of visuals in this presentation for you to help reinforce your learning. And this Healthful Thriver model is going to, I hope for you, bring your learning and yourself together so that you can see where you fit into this. And then we're going to talk about how you can become a thriver. And as I said at the end, I would love to have your questions or your comments, or if you have something you want some coaching around. We are so good. We can do that. So if this resonates with you, you can be active in the chat if you want. Some people aren't really comfortable with the chat. It's not their thing, and that's okay. You don't have to. It's not a rule. I will open up the chat so that I can see if you have anything to say, but use it as you will. But maybe just say to yourself, like, am I ready to be here today and to learn? And am I ready to take some action in my life? And I know that some of you here are already taking action, which is like fantastic. So you are here like as role models for other people. So as a thank you for showing up today, there will be an email coming out with the replay in it, and I'm going to send you 12 delicious, healthy snack recipes that come with a grocery list. And this is just like my gift to you as a thank you for being here and to help you kickstart your life as a thriver. So let's just pause for a moment. I know sometimes I talk really fast. Let's just pause for a moment and think about, like, what are your biggest challenges right now? Because we're going to go through sort of unpacking some of those challenges. So what are your biggest challenges right now? And just, you could put it in the chat if you want, or you can just like park that in your heart and just lean into that and just really roll that over in your mind. Maybe you're feeling like you aren't yourself anymore. I know that when you receive a cancer diagnosis, everything changes with 3 small words. And so it can also take away your sense of self, which is why we're talking about this today, this whole sense of who am I? And I'm going to share a thought with you right now that I think is a really important thought, and that is the thought: you are not your diagnosis. You are still you. Maybe you don't feel like you, but I'm going to gift you that little thought to carry with you. You are not your diagnosis. It's not your identity, but it might feel like it's become your identity. So we want to move through that. Or maybe you're just feeling like you're stuck and you don't know what to do. Like, you're doing all the medical things, you're showing up to the appointments, or you're trying to reclaim your life after cancer. Or maybe you're a caregiver who's just like, I don't know how to help my person. We're going to try to get you unstuck here today. And then maybe you just feel like you don't trust yourself, or you're just lost. It's like wandering around looking for a solution, or looking for the answers to what am I even supposed to do, and how do I trust myself to make the right decisions? Because there's a lot of decisions. And so we have to give ourselves some grace in that. So there's a lot of big feelings that come up with this. And I want you just to know that that's okay. And it's okay to feel your feelings. This today is your opportunity just to get started or to get curious about how every day is a new opportunity. Every single day is a new opportunity to bring something into your life that can make a difference. So, I want you to know that you can get guidance to learn how to support yourself and that you can get unstuck. You don't have to stay stuck. You can get unstuck when you can take clear and realistic action, and that you can feel confident and empowered in your daily life. One small action at a time can change how you feel about yourself in your daily life. So if this resonates with you, you are welcome to give me a yes in the chat. I don't know, maybe sometimes people are like, oh, it's so hokey, the whole chat thing. But some people need to talk it out. Some people need to show their expression of being in a mindset. So again, it's available to you if you would like to drop something in there. So I want to share with you just for a moment how I became a cancer thriver. I'm just going to switch over here to speaker view. There we go. So it was 10 years ago now, 10 years ago actually in November, that I developed a little pain in my side. And to make a very long story short, my doctor did not want me to have cancer. He refused to talk about it. And we had to advocate and we had to push. And so in February of 2015, a surgeon listened to me and we discovered that it was indeed cancer. And a month after that, my oncologist told me that I had stage 4 colon cancer, and I was 43 years old. I had 2 teenage sons, married to the love of my life, I had a good career, and everything came to a grinding halt. Fast forward to 2018, I have to think, there's so many dates in my head, to March of 2018, when I got a call telling me that I had to have my 3rd cancer-related surgery. So in 3 years, I went from being what I thought was a perfectly healthy person to going into my 3rd cancer-related surgery. So I went in and I had the surgery and I came home and my body was healing and I was doing all of the things to try that I had learned over those 3 years about healthy eating and drinking more water and trying to move my body. But I felt like my soul was empty. I felt like something was missing in my life and I needed a little bit more. And so I started to do the work. I started to explore what it was that I could do to become a cancer thriver, although I didn't know the word at the time so much. It was like this moment where I realized that there had to be more. And my niece came over to visit me one day and she said, "How you doing, Aunt Catherine?" And I was like, "Not so good. I'm not okay. I feel like my soul is missing something and I need a little bit more. And I don't know what that is. I don't know where to find that." And she said, "I have a great idea." These 20-year-olds, they're so full of ideas. She said, "You should take yoga teacher training." And I was like, "No, I'm not, I'm not becoming a yoga teacher. I had quit my teaching job. I didn't want to teach anymore." And she's like, "Aunt Catherine, I really think you should try this. I really think that this is what you need." So I thought, well, I have nothing to lose. So I signed up for it in September 2018. I went to yoga teacher training, and it was the best and most timely decision I ever could have made. Because 2 months into my training, they discovered that I had a metastases in my right lung, and I was going to have my 4th cancer surgery. But this time was different because I had been doing the work and I knew what to do. I knew how to breathe. I knew how to be mindful. I knew how to meditate. I knew that my body was stronger than it had ever been, that my mindset was stronger than it had ever been. I was eating healthier. I had all of these tools and strategies that I took into that surgery with me. And after the surgery, the respiratory therapist came into the room and she's like, "Okay, we need to get you over to that chair and we need to listen to you breathe because if you want to go home, I have to check that box." And I was like, "Let's get this done." So we got over to the chair and I heard her behind me just rubbing the stethoscope to warm it up. And she put it on my back and she said, "Take a deep breath in." And I just went, she said, "Breathe out." And she leaned in and she said, "You do yoga, don't you?" I said, "I do, actually. And I'm graduating from my program on the weekend. So I need you to sign the paper and get me out of this hospital because I've got things to do." And she did. And I went home and I went and I graduated. And then it occurred to me that this was that path to thriving, that I had tools and strategies and things that I didn't even know had existed that were holistic, that were helping me in conjunction with the medical stuff. And then I was like, I need to share this with other people. And so I started to work with other women, women who had cancer, and they started to see results in their lives. And it became this momentum for me of not just caring for other people, but remembering that when I was caring for them, I was also caring for myself. And so that was sort of that move towards becoming a cancer thriver, was realizing that when you have tools and strategies, when you know what to do, when I knew what to do, it could make a big difference in my life. And so here I am. In January, it will be 10 years since that doctor that didn't want me to have cancer said, "We think you have cancer." And I am doing the work every single day to be here and to be here for you today. So thank you for being here with me. I very much appreciate it. So that is my story of becoming a snippet of my story of becoming a cancer thriver. I did write a book recently called Living to Thrive, a holistic guide to living with cancer. Not here to pitch the book, but it's relevant that it tells more about my story and anecdotes that I've used along the way to help me to get to be here. So, like I said, my big revelation was that once I had access to tools and strategies that supported me in a holistic way, I could get out of survivor mode and really step into thriver mode. So, let's get started here in getting into the pieces about the self. This is where most people get stuck, is when they're not sure what to do, of where to go. And so I want to get you to walk through these three questions. I'm going to walk you through them. So the first question is, where are you now in your healing process? And that might be post-surgery, that might be 5 years out, that might be in the process of, but just think about for just a brief second, where are you now in your healing process? And then ask yourself, where do you want to be? And I know that ultimately the answer is, I want to be cancer free. I want to be cured. I want to be in remission. I don't want to do this anymore. But can you think of it even a little bit more differently than that? Like, where do you want to be? Is it playing with your grandchildren? Is it going back to work? Is it leaving your job and working on your health? Like, where do you want to be? And then the third part to that is, what are you doing to get there? Maybe you don't know what you're doing, you're just doing. Or maybe you have a whole list of strategies that you're following. So just reflect on that for a second. Where are you now? Where do you want to be? And what are you doing to get there? And the problem is that a lot of people don't know how to identify what they really need and what they want for themselves, which is an important part. What do you want for you? And what do you need to do that? They don't know how to identify where they want to be and then start making that happen. And they don't know how to create a life for themselves that they really want. My life, I just want my life to be happy and healthy. That's literally my life goal. I want to be happy and healthy and maybe a little bit less stress in my life. I'm working on it. So I want to share with you this image of creating the life that you want as related to yourself. So on the one side here, we have where you are, and on the other side, we have where you want to be. And in the middle, we have this beautiful bridge. And this is actually a real bridge. I think it's in Vietnam. As soon as I saw the image, I was like, this is perfect. It's beautiful, it's expansive, it's sparkly, it's joyful, but there's more to this bridge. There are people walking from one end to the other. And for me, that's symbolic of the people who are walking with cancer, who are looking for another way to live with cancer, who are looking for solutions, who are looking to get to where they want to be. And if you look over the edge of this picture, there's this beautiful expansive sky. but we can't really see what's there. And that's because that is the vastness of possibility that exists. We just have to go and sort of take a peek over the edge and see what it is. And then there are the hands that are holding up this bridge that we walk to get from where we are to where we want to be. That's symbolic of the support. And then just down in the bottom corner, there's another little path that has squiggles and circles, and it's a smaller path, and there's nobody on it. And that's, for me, symbolic of the path that I don't want to be on. I don't want the one with confusing things on it. I want to be on the path with the people who I'm meant to be with, walking across that bridge feeling supported. And maybe that's where you want to be also. You can be there when you learn tools and strategies. And learning tools and strategies is the single most powerful way to take back some control of your life and to get out of feeling that question of like, what do I even do now? Where do I start? I don't even know who I am anymore. How am I supposed to do things? Well, that's what we're here to talk about today. When you care for your whole self, body, mind, and spirit, you can move beyond just surviving. You can start living to thrive. The self is going to support the body, mind, and spirit. I've been teaching for years about this is about the body, mind, and spirit. It's the body, mind, and spirit. It is, but there's a whole other layer that's going to up-level the game of body, mind, and spirit when you understand what's available to you. So we have 3 strategies that we're going to walk through now. The first is about yourself and love. Loving yourself is at the foundation of becoming a thriver. So self-love is when you have this high regard for your own wellness and your own happiness, that you are looking at yourself through the lens of love. And it's about taking care of yourself and your own needs, not sacrificing what you need for other people. There's some talk about how when someone is diagnosed with cancer, they often are a giver. They're often the people who give of themselves and give to others, and they're always like thinking about other people first, and they're not receiving. Now, that's not everybody, but there's some correlations between being able to give and receive and good quality health. So if you are always giving and you're not taking care of yourself, you're not loving yourself enough to take care of yourself, then you are not honoring who you are as a person, and you need to not sacrifice your own well-being for other people. You can have them on the list, but you need to be at the top of the list. Self-love helps you to create a healthy relationship with yourself. And when you love yourself, it's just so much easier to face challenges and setbacks. And those happen when you have cancer. There are challenges and setbacks. I had 6 cancer-related surgeries in under 9 years. Those are challenges. They felt like setbacks. But in doing the work and in learning to love myself, I was able to navigate through them. It's not a perfect process. I am not a perfect person by any means, but being able to put myself on the list and love myself helped me through those moments. When you love yourself, you are able to see your own worth and your own value. And that is really, really important. So to create self-love, you can bring in practices that are going to support your health and your happiness. You can start changing how you eat. You can start changing how you think. You can start doing things that bring you joy. You can nourish your body and your mind and your spirit when you love yourself. You can be self-aware. What am I thinking? What's that bringing up for me? Why am I behaving in that way? How am I responding to those feelings? Self-love will help you to navigate that because you can be more gentle and kinder to yourself. It's about accepting what's happening without judging yourself. Things are going to happen. Things happen without cancer, let alone with cancer. Things are going to happen. But it's about not judging yourself, accepting that this is happening in your life is a huge piece of healing, and not living in a place of guilt. This is not about who did it or what did it. This is about loving yourself and forgiving yourself for whatever it is that you are carrying into this walk with cancer. And you can find gratitude. When you are grateful, you can find ease. You can love yourself more when you express gratitude for even the littlest things. There were days when I got up and I was just grateful to be able to get up. I was grateful to be able to move from one place in my house to the other, grateful to go for a walk around the block. Now I am grateful for different things because I'm farther in the process, but maybe for you right now, gratitude is just one little tiny piece that keeps you moving forward every single day. So loving yourself is the first part of this exploration of the self. Love yourself, make yourself the most important person on your list. I love these quotes. Love yourself, be clear on how you want to be treated, know your worth always. And this one, you've got to love yourself first. You've got to be okay on your own before you can be okay with somebody else. You've got to value yourself and know that you're worth everything. And that is such a powerful message. So I just want to share with you about Hélène, who is a private client of mine. She has stage 4 colorectal cancer. She lives out in British Columbia. And she, through the work that we have been doing together, she's discovered that combining healthy eating habits with gentle yoga and spending time in nature is an excellent way for her to manage her body, mind, and spirit. And she's learned that these practices that support self-love are also supporting her as she continues to move through the cancer process. Next is about caring for yourself. So we've talked about self-love, now we talk about self-care. This is the practice of looking after your own health using the knowledge and information that's available to you. And you don't need to know everything. You need to know the pieces that matter to you and that are supportive to you. This is a decision-making process that empowers you to look after your own self in conjunction with your healthcare providers and social care providers. You don't have to do it alone. Excuse me. You don't have to do it alone, but you need to make decisions about the kind of care that you want to receive and the kind of care that you want to give yourself. So self-care helps you to feel like you're taking back control of your health and your happiness. And when you care for yourself, it's easier to believe that you can do this because you're also practicing self-love. They actually work together. To love yourself, you need to care for yourself. To care for yourself, you need to love yourself. So when you care for yourself, you become an empowered and active participant in your own health story. So this may feel very philosophical to you. It is, but it can have tangible pieces within it, which is why I said like these self-practices elevate that body, mind, and spirit piece. So in creating self-care, you can make healthy lifestyle choices. This is the more tangible stuff by being physically active and eating healthy foods. You can self-monitor by checking in with yourself, with your emotional well-being, with your stress levels, with your physical well-being. That's self-awareness, and self-awareness is so important. Not just in, do I have a physical sensation, but what is my emotional state, and how can I navigate that emotional state? It's about being present. Self-care is being present because you're living right now, pardon me, rather than staying stuck in the past or worrying about the future. The past has happened, friends. We cannot change it. And staying stuck in past thoughts of why did this happen, or what did I do wrong, or what could I have done differently does not serve you right now. And worrying about where you're going, worrying about possibilities of the future is not going to help you either, because you're living in a mindset of what ifs rather than in a mindset of what can I do right now. This is about being present. So everything that you do to care for yourself keeps you grounded in the right now. And one of my favorite things, and we adopted this very early in my cancer story, is to say yes to fun. Say yes to fun, whatever that is. You get to choose because now you are feeling a little bit more self-empowered, but enjoy your life right now. every single day get up and do something that is going to bring you joy. It will elevate so many pieces of your life, your cortisol, your happy hormones, your sense of self, your sense of community. Say yes to fun. It's like one of the best things you can do. So I encourage you to practice self-care. So we've talked about loving yourself, and we've talked about practicing self-care. So let's just explore the third self here in a minute, because I want to share with you this study that I found from 2015 that talked about people who bring the relaxation response into their life by participating in self-care practices, in things like meditation and yoga and repetitive prayer. They found that it actually helped to reduce the symptoms of irritable bowel syndrome and irritable bowel disease. And it also reduced anxiety, and it also improved quality of life. That's huge. To know that there are things that you can do when you love yourself and you care for yourself that can help bring physical and emotional wellness into your life. So now let's talk about the third self, and that's about believing in yourself. You have to believe in yourself so much to navigate this process. Maybe you've never thought about that, but this is a really important piece. Believing in yourself is your ability to do whatever you set your mind to. And one of the things that I've learned is that we can do hard things. We can do things that we never thought we had to do and face things that we never ever imagined facing. But self-belief will make that easier, and it will help you to navigate through setbacks and obstacles that may come up in your life. Self-belief is going to provide you with some stability and support in this ever-changing landscape of cancer. It's and I'll talk about that in a few minutes, but it's this roller coaster of what if and when and what am I doing now and how am I feeling now and what should I be doing? And so believing in yourself and trusting in yourself can help to sort of level that playing field, can make it a little bit calmer. And we want calm because we don't want to be stressed, because we don't want inflammation in our body that's caused by increased cortisol, which is a whole other conversation. But self-belief is going to help you to get up every single day and keep moving forward. I just want to share an anecdote with you. One of the biggest moments in my cancer story came very, very early on. I was home from my first big surgery related to my colon, a right hemicolectomy, and I was lying in bed feeling particularly sorry for myself, and I decided that I couldn't do this, that this was hard, and I didn't want to do hard, and I was going to pull the covers over my head and just not do this anymore. And like any good modern day human being, I opened up my Facebook Messenger, and at the top of the list was this guy that I'd gone to public school with like 20 plus years prior to my diagnosis. And all his message said was, "I just wanted you to know that I'm thinking about you today." And I thought, oh man, this guy that I haven't seen in forever took 2 minutes out of his life to send me a message to tell me that he's thinking about me. I need to get over myself. And in that moment, I decided that I was going to believe that I could get up every single day, put my feet on the floor, have a shower if it was a good day, put on my big girl pants, and if it meant moving from the bed to the sofa downstairs, that was going to be a good day. But one message changed how I saw myself living with cancer and made a huge difference in my story. Self-belief is so important because it helps to build confidence, not just in yourself, but in your choices and in your actions. And when you believe in yourself, it's easier to believe that you can do this, like I was just sharing with you, because you're also practicing self-love. I had to love myself enough to decide that I was going to get up every day and do my best, whatever my best looked like. When you believe, when you love yourself and you care for yourself and you believe in yourself, you become empowered to be that active participant in your health story. We don't have to just do as we are told. We can ask questions. We can bring suggestions to the table. We can take care of our own needs at the same time as we are being cared for. So to create self-belief, you need to know that you're taking care of yourself because you're listening to what you want and need. And that's huge. That is empowering to know what you want and what you need and to be able to verbalize that. You need to believe in yourself like your best friend would. I would want to believe that your best friend is your cheerleader and that they would be standing there beside you, telling you that you can do anything and that they are going to be there holding your hand and walking the walk with you. So believe in yourself like your best friend would and make your health and your happiness a priority right now. This is super important because you are the most important person right now. So believe in yourself. That is our third self concept, and it's a big one. And I'm not going to say that you're just going to hang up from this call and just start magically believing in yourself. Maybe you will. Or maybe it's a process for you. It's taken me some time. That little text message got me started, but there's work around this, and it's good work. It's beautiful work. So self-love, self-care, and self-belief are all part of you, yourself. And when you practice self-love and self-care, you can create a sense of peace inside of yourself, reassurance that you are doing what you can and taking care of yourself. And when you take care of yourself and you believe in yourself, it creates this sense of nurturing. You're nurturing your body and your mind and your spirit. You're nurturing yourself to keep moving forward. And when you believe in yourself and you love yourself, you create this possibility of what is available to you and how you can keep moving forward. Whew, that's a lot. But I just want you to reflect for a second, if you would, and just ask yourself, if you were to know how to support yourself, what would be the impact of that? For me, it's being here 10 years later. It's doing this. It's finding beatcancer.org and getting my certification as a holistic cancer coach so that I could help other people. So what's the impact that it's going to have on your life when you can love yourself and care for yourself and believe in yourself? So this is the model that I wanted to share with you around your healthful thriver life. So on the bottom of our model here, we have our outer work, which is like healthy eating and moving your body. Over here, we have the inner work, which is like mindfulness, meditation, prayer, mantra, the things that you can do inside of your soul. So in terms of the outer work, you may have no idea what you're supposed to even do or what's available to you, or you may be super well equipped and know exactly what needs to be happening. In terms of your inner work, you may be disconnected from yourself. Not everybody is connected to their inner soul or their inner spirit, or you may be super dialed in, super connected. So let's talk for a second about the person who is well equipped in their outer work. They're doing everything. They're eating healthy, they're juicing, they're eating smoothies, they take their protein powder, they take their supplements, they see their doctor regularly, they're exercising in a way that feels good for them. They are taking action. These are actionful survivors. They're doing everything of the external world to make themselves healthier. Then we have the thoughtful survivors. These are the people who aren't so much in the outer work world, but they're super connected to prayer, to mantra, to meditation, to gratitude practices. They are doing all of the mindset or internal work, but they're not taking care of their body. Down here, we have the people that feel like there's nothing I can do. I'm just going to hand it over to the doctors, to God, and everybody makes their own decisions. I'm not telling you how to think or feel, but these are people that don't feel that they have tools or don't believe that there are tools that they can use to actually support themselves. And so they're just basically waiting to see what happens, to see how it goes. And that is a very personal decision that comes from a place of no judgment. But up here, what we have are the healthful thrivers. These are the people that are doing the work inside and outside because they want to thrive. They want more for themselves than just receiving a diagnosis and being told that they have to follow a plan. They want more for themselves than just looking around and not knowing what is available to them. These are the people that are taking some serious action. That's where you want to be. That's where I would wish for you to want to be. I can't tell you where to be, but that's what I would wish for you to want to be. There's a path to living to thrive, and you get to choose which path you want to be on. It's a very personal decision. Cancer is a very personal process, and it has to resonate with you and it has to feel right for you. So you do get to have choices, but you have to know what the choices are and feel empowered to make those choices. So, do you want to be a powerless survivor or do you want to be a healthful thriver? It is 100% your choice. So, I would love to ask you, or have you at least reflect on what's been the most valuable thing here for you today. So far, we are not done yet. So maybe one takeaway that you have, maybe just plant that in your heart or in your mind, maybe jot that down, something that you've taken away, and maybe that's your nugget. Maybe that's what you take today and you start to build on. Maybe this is the foundation for you in your moving forward. But what I want to share with you is that the number one mistake that most women make when it comes to their illness is that stops them from being healthful thrivers is not knowing that they can be an active part of reclaiming their life and transforming their health. You get to be part of your process. And that's what this is about giving you this idea that you don't have to do it alone and you do get to be a part of the process. So living with cancer is a three-part process of self-love, of learning how to live with your thoughts and manage your stress and navigate the thoughts and the feelings that come up. It's about practicing self-care around your nutrition and your movement to strengthen your body, which in turn will strengthen your mind and your spirit. And it's about believing in yourself. It's about being your own best friend. And I know that the reality may be, as we talked about at the beginning, that feeling stuck, feeling stressed because there's just so much coming at you, or feeling lost because it's just so much. It's just so overwhelming. But we're going to get out of the drama. I love this picture. I found this when I was away on a vacation once, and I was like, I have to have this sign in my life. Because at the beginning of my cancer story, and maybe at yours, there was so much drama. There was just so much drama. And I haven't even, we haven't even touched on the drama that comes from the external people in your world. That's a whole other conversation. But there's so much drama inside of yourself. And so I want to share with you how I got out of my own drama and stepped in to living to thrive. Oh, sorry. Clicked. Should not have clicked. So living to thrive is a phrase that was gifted to me by one of my doctors. And it was that third surgery that I was telling you about. It was just before the third surgery, and I was out running some errands and my phone rang, and it was my doctor, and I thought, seriously, what else can I possibly take right now? I was so devastated by this third recurrence. And when I picked up the phone, she started with, I just wanted to tell you how sorry I am that you're going through this again. I was like, okay, thanks. It's a lot. And she said, but I also want to share with you a concept. And I think it will change your world. And I was like, you know what? I am open to receive, because really right now things are not feeling so good. So what have you got for me? And she said, I want to talk to you about living with cancer. And I prickled. I was not happy. I was like, I don't want to live with cancer. I want cancer to go away. The long story short is what she shared with me is that cancer creates this roller coaster that I referenced earlier. It's the ups and the downs. There's so much going on. There's always the going into diagnostics to see where you are. There's the tests and the scans, the appointments. There's the, I'm okay right now, and now I've got a pain. There's all of these things that can make it a complicated life. And what she said was, if you can adopt this philosophy of living with cancer as part of your life, not your identity, but part of your life, you will find some ease. And I didn't find it right away. It took me some time to wrap my brain around this concept, but it has become my personal work, and it's become my message of living with cancer is possible, and it makes accepting the whole thing just that much easier. There's work to do. It's not just, I'm going to live with cancer and everything's going to be okay. It is about, what am I going to do to create my life with cancer in a way that I want it to be? And that could be day to day. That can be moment to moment. It can be whatever you want it to be. But what I discovered when I was able to wrap my brain around that concept was it empowered me to know that I could create the life I wanted to live. And so I dug deeper into nutrition. I went deeper into my yoga teacher training. I became a certified holistic cancer coach. I said yes to fun. I practiced gratitude. I do all of these things as part of my life, not perfectly, want to offer that, but I do it because this is my life and I get to choose how I'm going to live with it. I have a stage 4 diagnosis. I know that it's not going away, but I also know it doesn't have to be active in my life, and it's not right now, and it hasn't been for over a year. Because I choose to do the work, because I choose to adopt this philosophy of accepting it as just part of my life, but not my life. And I write about it in my book, towards the end of my book, because I really feel like it is like the culmination of believing in all of the other things, is adopting this concept of creating a life with cancer that you get to create and that you get to control when you're feeling empowered and caring for yourself. Okay, I gotta keep going here. I want to be very mindful of your time. Thank you for listening to all of that. So I do want to take you through a very brief guided practice here. You are welcome to do it or not. It is entirely your choice. It's just a little future pacing activity. And I know the future can feel overwhelming sometimes. So I will try to be, I will be mindful of where you are, wherever you are, and just walk you through this. So you can close your eyes if you want to, or you can divert your gaze, soften your gaze, and we'll just take a big breath in and a breath out. And we're going to just lean into the sensations of our body. So imagine yourself a week from now, after this talk, after this master class, taking one of the things that you have learned and applying that in your life. And how would that feel in your body, in your spirit, if you were applying one of the things that we've talked about today? And then let's just take it a month out. A month from today, we're in January of 2025, and you have incorporated that one practice and maybe brought in a few others, and it's now starting to become a part of what you do. Where do you feel that in your body? And how does that feel? To know that you are doing things that feel good for you. And we'll take it one little step further, 3 months down the road, and now it's just what you do. It's become a normal part of your living with cancer, of your life, of your daily practices. How does that feel in your body to know that you are doing things that feel good for you and that are supporting you? And take a deep breath in and out. And when you're ready, just come back into the space. And we're just going to keep moving forward. So I just want to ask you this question. Are you ready to step into that future and to learn how to live to thrive? And if you're ready, I would love to share with you the next steps. As I promised at the beginning, I wanted to share with you how you can become a thriver. But what I know is that this isn't for everybody, and that's okay. I'm so grateful that you are here today learning. It's not for everyone. It's not for you if you're not ready to take next steps. It's not for you if this concept of believing in yourself or these three selves is a little bit too overwhelming for you right now. It's not ready for it. It's not for you if it's just not within your scope of practice right now, that you have other things that you feel you need to put your attention on. But if you're ready, I would love to share with you that I have created a Living to Thrive monthly membership, and it's a space to support you so that you can work on reclaiming your life and transforming your health. This membership is for women who are living with cancer and want to reclaim their health and their life in a holistic way, who want to take back control of their everyday life, who are looking for resources, and it's exhausting looking for resources, but they're looking for resources that nurture the body, mind, and spirit, and they don't want to just survive anymore. They want to be thrivers. So inside of the program, and I'm going to walk you through it in just a moment, we've got some monthly themes and coaching. So each month is themed and has a live coaching call associated with it. There's a very clear and laid out Thriver success path that gets you from week 1 of month 1 to week 4 of month 6 of following the plan. And the Living to Thrive method is laid out for you so that you don't have to feel overwhelmed, so that you have a step-by-step process of what you're going to do each week to support your body and your mind and your spirit. You also get video and audio recordings of the Living to Thrive method content. So each module has, and each lesson has a video that goes with it. There are monthly group coaching calls the first Wednesday of every month, 12 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We come together in this space and you can receive coaching live from me, or you can submit a question the day before and I will address the question. And there are recordings of each of the calls available from every call that we have done from the beginning of the program, which is now a membership, and moving forward. And there's access to health building resources throughout the whole program, downloadables for you. And I'm always now adding new content because I'm a teacher. I love to teach and I love to create. So I want to share with you just some examples, some comments from people who've gone through the program and have helped me to transition it into a membership. So this is Kathy, who actually came to me as a cancer caregiver. So she said that with her knowledge, experience, and caring and compassion, Catherine provided a desperately needed gap in the cancer treatment program. Thankfully, today my husband is NED, no evidence of disease, and I'm most grateful to Catherine and her participants who offered the support we desperately needed to deal positively with this traumatic turn in our lives. Catherine White's Living to Thrive program is social proof that this approach is much needed in the healthcare community. And Michelle, a cervical cancer thriver, says that this is empowering. She says to invest in this. She's like one of my biggest cheerleaders. I love her so much. Michelle actually is like traveling the world and living her best life right now. She said that money and time spent on advocating for your own health and wellness is never wasted. Empower yourself to thrive and not just barely survive. Catherine's knowledge and personal experiences from her well-earned victory with her own journey with cancer was and is an invaluable resource. And Julie, and fun fact about Julie is we actually ended up having the same oncologist, and we didn't realize that until we just started working together. She's a stage 4 colon cancer thriver. And she says, Catherine's such a positive, open, welcoming person who creates a safe space for you to share your thoughts and feelings. She does not judge. She holds space for you no matter what you're feeling or thinking. I felt like Catherine really understood where I was coming from because she had been there, and she provided great advice and tools on dealing with physical, emotional, and mental issues. So Living to Thrive, to the best of my knowledge, and I have done some searching, is the only membership for women living with cancer that shows you all in one place how to support your health holistically, to manage your thoughts, reduce your stress, and learn how to thrive, not just survive. So if you're ready to get started and join me and the other beautiful women that are in this membership, I'd like to just share with you what you get. You get the Living to Thrive monthly membership. It's monthly themed content to support your personal growth. You get all the video and audio recordings of the program. You get the bonus monthly group coaching calls and access to the recordings, and you get access to health building resources and new content as it's available. Your investment in yourself is $37 a month. You get all of that for $37 a month. And I offer a 14-day total health guarantee. So if you feel like you want to start the program and then it doesn't resonate with you, that is okay. That is why there is a health guarantee available to you. And if you join in the next 24 hours, as a thank you for being here and for being right on the ground of getting this started and up and running and being a thriving member of the membership, I am going to offer a $10 discount that is forever. So your price, if you join in the next 24 hours, is $27 Canadian a month. This is your time to thrive. If you are interested in learning more, you can go to katherinewhite.coach/living to thrive membership. And we have just a couple of minutes, so I want to give you a quick peek at what the membership actually looks like, because I really feel like it's important to be transparent. So this is the membership. This is your membership space. Over here is where you can subscribe to the calendar and get the link to the monthly calls. And here is if you wanted some private one-on-one coaching, that's available to you. But this is the path to thriving content, and it's laid out in a very clear format for you so that you can follow along. You can see inside here the monthly content. So in September, we were talking about intentions, and here in December, we were talking about navigating the holidays. These are real things that people want to talk about. And then there is the whole Thriver success path that, as I shared with you, it's laid out month to month and week by week. So in week 1, we just dive into all of the getting started pieces. Week 2, we start talking about the body, what you eat, the standard American diet, whole foods versus processed foods. We do some learning around reducing our stress, which is huge when you have cancer. And then we talk about your spirit and taking care of yourself. And in addition to that path, there is bonus content for each of the body, mind, and spirit aspects, as well as access to some mini courses. I have some other things that I'm working on. There's a whole bunch of health building resources, personal growth challenges. January, I'm launching the 7-Day to Mindfulness Challenge inside of the membership. Here's where all of the replays are, past and present. And I've left a little bit of the old Thrive with Cancer program in there for you to explore. So that is the membership and what is available to you. So I'm just going to go back over here for a moment because I want to address questions that may come up. So these are some questions that typically come up on the masterclasses. Do I have a limited time to complete the program? And the answer is no, there is no limit. It is as long as you want to be in the membership. It's on your time and on your terms. It is laid out in a 6-month program, but you can do what you want inside of the membership in your own time. Will it have more lessons added? Yes, I already mentioned that. I love creating, and I already have something coming for January. And how do I get support if I have questions? Friends, I'm a one-woman show. This is me in my office serving you. So if you have questions, typically the most popular question is, I've lost my password, what do I do? You just send me an email at hello@katherinewhite.coach, and I will reply to you within 24 hours. So that is it. Here we are at the end. Again, you can go to katherinewhite.coach/living to thrive membership. Take a look at the information related to that. Go back and watch this masterclass if you're interested and if you're curious about it. And you can always reach out to me if you have questions. I have 3 minutes to spare. That is a novelty for me. I always go over. This is good. I would love to hear from you. I would love to hear your questions, comments, concerns. He's always so quiet. Always, it's like the best grade 8 class ever when people don't talk. Nothing? Oh, thank you, Catherine. You know, I've had my dark days. I have had my dark days, but I really have embraced this body, mind, spirit, and this self concept in order to be here and show up for myself and to show up for my adult sons and for my amazing husband and to live my life to the fullest. I feel like it's just a gift. It's a real gift, and I feel so grateful to be able to work. Unblur. Oh my! I don't know if I can unblur. Marla, you're just the best. Marla wants to see the cover of my book. This is my book, Living to Thrive. I don't know if you can see that. The camera might not. Living to Thrive, a holistic guide to living with cancer. Oh, it's doing its own thing. At any rate, that is my book. I'm very proud of it. You know, over since I was diagnosed in 2015, people were like, you should write a book. And I thought, nobody wants to hear my story. And I'm not sure that I want to write my story. But I came about a year ago, I came to this decision that I have been working with clients for long enough to know that there's more. And I felt like there were some gaps that I wanted to fill in and that I wanted to make this possibility of living with cancer more accessible to more people. And so I started writing a book, and it's not a first, next, last. What it is a series of things that happened in my life. From when they told me that I had cancer to that conversation with the doctor around living to thrive, living with cancer. And so I use these snippets of my life that really help to transform my story in conjunction with things that I've heard from my clients to put this book together. It's just a little book. It's not huge, but it's like the work from the last 10 years. I get a little emotional talking about it because it was a very big project. But Marla says the book is fabulous. Thank you, Marla. You're such a great cheerleader. I love you. Thanks, Mary. I really believe that what I am sharing with you is important. That it is genuinely how I am learning to live my life. This is not a perfect life. Sometimes I eat French fries. I know I shouldn't. Sometimes I eat French fries. Sometimes I choose to have things that, you know, after the fact, I have to work through my emotions around doing it or having it because I'm not a perfect person. But what I know is that when I was first diagnosed, this didn't exist. I couldn't find it. I couldn't find anywhere to talk to somebody who had stage 4 anything, who had cancer, or I found groups that I just didn't feel comfortable in. I talk about that in my recent podcast episode, like around support groups and the need for support, and how back in 2015 I couldn't find that. And now I feel like my calling is this gift that I have been given of being here 10 years later is to share the information that I've learned. And what I love is the learning in return, what I get back from the people that I work with. I've learned a lot about things that I didn't know anything about. And a lot of it is around people's fears and thoughts and preconceived notions of cancer. And it's funny because now I'm just going to chat until somebody asks me a question. I was watching a show on Prime last night, and they've started putting ads into it. And if anyone has to go, I completely understand. I'm now officially 1 minute over time. But this is one of my struggles, and I've talked about this with some of the women that are on this call, actually, that in the middle of Prime now, they bring up ads. And one of the ads that's up there right now it's not a bad ad, but it's about donating to the Canadian Cancer Society. And as soon as it came up, I was like, and I could feel it catch in my heart. I could feel my stomach tighten. I could feel the visceral response in my body to having this show that I was watching interrupted by cancer. Isn't that crazy? And maybe it's not crazy. Like maybe I'm not crazy. I've talked myself out of thinking I'm crazy. But it was just like, wow, there it is again. Just as I'm sitting here in my pajamas trying to relax, watching a TV show, up comes this. And I hear that from my clients, in the books that they're watching, the TV shows that they're watching, that they're just trying to be normal people. We're just all trying to be as normal as we can be. And that little reminder it was startling to me. I don't think it's just a me thing because I've heard other people say it, but I wanted to share that because it's just part of that living with. And so it became, okay, now what am I going to do with this feeling? And I had to just remind myself that what they were showing on the television isn't what my life looks like. It is a societal view of what cancer looks like. And again, that's part of my doing this work, is that like there are so many myths around cancer that we can debunk. That cancer doesn't have to look like what people think it looks like. And that we get to create what our version of it looks like, not how Hollywood portrays it. Because I think they've got it all wrong, quite honestly. I mean, look at how many people are on this call coming to learn and to grow and to make some changes. That's not written into the scripts. So we get to write our own script. You get to write your own Hollywood movie. How fun is that? Any questions? Anything resonate with you that you want to share? No? All right, well, I will just run through it again once more for you then, and we can all go off on our Saturdays. The Living to Thrive monthly membership is available to you for the next 24 hours for $27, and it's going to stay at that price for you as a thank you for being here and signing up right away. I would love to have you in the membership. Every month we get on a call, the first Wednesday of every month, and we do this. I don't always talk the whole time. We actually get to do some talking within ourselves. We just talk about what life looks like, get some coaching around some things. I talk about the theme of the month. For January, it's going to be empowerment. We're going to talk about how to be empowered in your life. Come when you can, stay as long as you'd like. Share this with somebody that you love if you think that it would be helpful for them. And I do really hope to see you inside. I hope that you will join me. Thank you, everyone. There's some beautiful comments in the chat. I appreciate that. Thank you to Zach, one of our mentors and guides at beatcancer.org, where I did my training. Thanks for being here, Zach, for representing the men in the group. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. I've been staying quiet. I didn't know if, I want, you wanted this to be a more ladies focused space, but I just want to say thank you for the work that you're doing. It's so important, and you're definitely not crazy. Advertisements for medical things really just hit you in the head, no matter who you are. But, I think it is very insensitive to continually put advertisements about, ailments or temporary states of unwellness, such as cancer, in people's face. It certainly reinforces in people's minds the fear. It reinforces in people's minds like you were saying, like, oh my God, I'm just trying to have my leisure time and I can't get away from this.
Mhm.
It's, yeah, it's crazy. So it's crazy. You're definitely not crazy. And I just want to say, the program that you're running is fantastic. Everything that you've said on this program here is exactly the kind of things that we support at beatcancer.org, and we're so proud to have you as one of our coaches.
Thank you, Zach. I'm very grateful for the program and for everything that I have learned so that I can share with other people. Thanks for being here. The work that I do, I say, I offer it to women. In terms of the membership, it's sometimes people feel more comfortable in their own little community of people, but I have done private coaching with men. So my life is not exclusive to women. It just happens that sometimes women tend to ask for help more readily than men do, but that doesn't mean that men are not welcome in my particular coaching space.
Yep. Yep. That's amazing.
Thank you. Anyone else? I appreciate all the thank yous in the comments. I appreciate your time. All right. Well, just before we go then, other offerings are the membership. I have my book and I have my free podcast, Living to Thrive with Cancer. You can go and find that on Spotify or Apple and just take a listen if you want to hear a little bit more. And I do very much wish you a happy Saturday. Stay warm and healthy and safe. And thanks for being here. I appreciate all of you.